What's up, everybody? Tonight, you guys are going to help me do the depth chart because there's a lot of important questions looking at the Washington Wizards. Who starts the point guard, and does Alex Sarr still start at the forward position? Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again. I appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. All right, and tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more as the playoffs wind down. The sports stop sporting like we want them to. But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every single day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, everybody. I had a Shaq and Fu moment, like I call him a star. Alex Sarr. Like I said, today you guys are going to help me kind of look at the depth chart because a lot of questions that come up after the first four summer league games. Obviously, the fifth and final one is tomorrow. And then we're going to recap live on Sunday. But with the struggles of Alex Sarr, does he still start at power forward? And look at that point guard. Well, Malcolm Brogdon, presumably, at least going to be here till the deadline. Does he start at point guard, or is it Jordan Poole? Which, with myself included, I think it should definitely be Jordan Poole. But look at Malcolm Brogdon and other factors. Who starts at point guard? So you guys are going to help me fill out the depth chart, the updated depth chart tonight. And then we're going to get in the comments like we always do. So let's get into it. We're going to start with the point guard position. So who starts the point guard right now? Obviously a lot of things have to change now. Could there be further moves made as far as the roster? Yes, but I think that the roster you look at is going to be relatively probably around 90% to 95% of what you're looking at the start of the regular season, at least to the start of training camp. So point guard, who starts a point guard? Now, we all know that Jordan Poole needs the ball in his hands. We saw him at the two guard with Tyus Jones. In the backcourt with Tyus Jones and Jordan Poole was undersized and was not very good defensively. So he's shown that, look, what did Jordan Poole prove to us this previous season? He had his struggles, absolutely. But when he was relegated to sixth man, when he was able to dictate the pace, he shined on the second unit as sixth man. And then when Tyus Jones went down and he started, he showed that, look, the Wizards were number one in pace in the second half of last season. So this team can roll in transition. And if you look at players on the roster, especially players that were added through the draft in Alex Sarr, Bub Carrington, and Keyshawn George, these are guys who are swift on the feet. These are guys who are going to be able to move in transition. Alex Sarr, obviously we know that his offensive side is very raw. It's going to take a while for him to really develop his offensive game. But right now we see a guy who is not a bad rebounder. He's definitely been rebounding really good in summer league. And he's a guy who's a rim protector who's definitely going to be very involved in paint defense. So looking at, getting back to point guard, Jordan Poole is best when the ball's in his hands. And, my expectation was till we acquired Malcolm Brogdon, that he was going to be the point guard for at least the next 3 years. Because as we all know, the timeline has changed. Now, that could change. It's not permanent. Could they see him long-term piece? Maybe. But I think Bub Carrington being drafted kind of shows you what their vision is for Jordan Poole at point guard long-term. Now, he could be here for the next 3 years, but at some point, they're going to try to flip him. The same thing with Kyle Kuzma, Jonas Valanciunas, Sadiq Bey, Malcolm Brogdon. List goes on a lot. And most of the vets on the team are going to be moved at some point, whether it's at the deadline, whether it's in 1-2 years, or maybe in the final year of the contract. But at some point, they're going to try to get value for some of these guys. So look at that point guard. Now, the price tag for Malcolm Brogdon is $22.5. And the fact that, he can play two guard, but he works best as a point guard. So saying that, they could showcase him at point guard till the deadline and then move him because I think he will have value. Look, he's a former Sixth Man of the Year award winner with the Boston Celtics. He's a guy who, he's had his injury issues, but a guy that's shown he could be the sixth man. He could be, a starting point guard if need be, even though, most teams aren't looking at him as a long-term piece of point guard at the stage of his career. But he's a guy who can definitely hold down the second unit as sixth man. So could they start him a point guard to showcase him? Absolutely. I can see that because right now you see a lot more depth charts and starting fives where Malcolm Brogdon is the guy who's starting as point guard. Now, I humbly still believe that long-term, Jordan Poole's the answer at point guard till Bub Carrington's ready to take over. And, like I said, I love me some Jordan Poole. And, before the timeline changed, I 100% looked at him as a future piece of point guard. Now, there were people that saw him as a trade commodity. And I'm not going to completely say that, he wasn't, because obviously, look, most guys, Will Dawkins made it known from the get-go. Bilal Coulibaly was the only untradeable guy. So, you definitely look at Jordan Poole and say, he's definitely a trade asset to a certain degree. But, his skill set, the fact that he hasn't hit his prime yet, were reasons why I believe that he could have been the future at point guard. But like I said, Bub Carrington, with the change of timeline and the emergence of Bub Carrington, like I said, small sample size. Bub Carrington is going to have his fair share of struggles. While he's had a really good summer league, he's very young. He's 18 years old, about to turn 19. And he's going to have a lot of growing pains. And, there's going to be up and down seasons, not only for him, but for Keyshawn George, for Alex Sarr. Bilal's going to have his growing pains too. Same thing with Tristan Vucevic, man. Right now, Malcolm Brogdon could be the guy. A lot of sports outlets are saying they look at him being the starter at point guard. So with that being said, where's that relegate Jordan Poole? You know what I mean? So, Jordan Poole, would he go back to sixth man? Because I don't, you would argue that he probably would have to be, right? Because we've seen a backcourt with Jordan Poole as a two guard. Defensively, he's shown a lot more effort, but he's far from being a lockdown guy. And Malcolm Brogdon is more of a defensive guy. So could a backcourt work with Jordan Poole? It could, but I believe that if you're going to get the most out of Jordan Poole, you got to put the ball in his hands. And I think that, you relegate him to six man because we saw that he can hold down six man. He can, because being the point guard for the second unit, he can dictate pace. And then it gives you another reason to kind of give Bub Carrington a lot more leeway and time to kind of sit back and develop, So, but then the question is, if he is at the two guard, who starts the point guard in the second unit, right? Is it going to be Jared Butler or is it going to be Bub Carrington? So, like I said, you guys are going to help me do the depth chart tonight, man, because you guys, with your comments, man, let me know what you guys are thinking of each position group. So we're not going to go through the whole depth chart. We're going to go through three main areas that I think there are going to be some competition or some question marks, like point guard. So we're starting out with point guard. So who do you guys think is going to start at point guard? Do you see Malcolm Brogdon starting till the deadline and then Jordan Poole takes over? Do you see Jordan Poole going to six man and maybe Bilal takes over the two guard? You guys definitely let me know what you guys are thinking. All right, it's another hot topic right now. Excuse me. Alex Sarr, struggling in Summer League. So is he still, in the eyes of you guys, the starter at power forward? Or is it Marvin Bagley III, another veteran who they could be showcasing because he is an expiring contract, and he's a guy that may not be part of the future, and he's definitely a tradable asset. So would you rather see Marvin Bagley III at power forward with Jonas Valanciunas? Because look, you very well could see that, guys. They're going to showcase these veterans, and you're going to see a lot of the young guys develop and get second unit minutes. Now, so Alex Sarr has shown that he may not be ready to start at power forward, and it probably behooves the organization and him to start off in the second unit, work in tandem with Rashawn Holmes, who's going to be the backup center. Because you're looking at the second unit, Keyshawn George, do they start him out in the G League? Bub Carrington. I think Bub Carrington has shown enough that he may very well start on the active roster. As far as with the Wizards, man, he may not start off with a go-go. I could see Keyshawn George starting off with the Kansas City go-go, but with Patrick Baldwin Jr., presumably probably starting at the 4 or the 3 on the second unit. And then you got Corey Kispert. So there's a lot of intangibles here, man, because Corey Kispert could probably play the 2 or the 3 on the second unit. So a lot of intangibles here, which leads into my next point, second unit. How do we round out the second unit? Jared Butler, is he the point guard for the second unit? We'll see, because Bub Carrington is practically said, look, man, hold my beer. He's played good basketball in the Summer League. But where do you fit in? Johnny Davis is still on the roster, So if they don't, obviously if they don't pick up his option, he's not going to be on the roster next year. But he's still around. Where does he fit in? Keyshawn George, where does he fit in? Corey Kispert, another guy who's been linked to trades. Where does he fit in? Because he's going in an expiring contract. This is the final year of his rookie contract. So do they extend him? So like I said, guys, a lot of dominoes still need to be, still need to fall. There's still a lot of question marks with this roster going forward. So like I said, with the comments, guys, you guys let me know, where do you see each position, man? Who starts the point guard and why? At power forward, would you rather see Marvin Bagley III start and kind of let Alex Sarr do his thing on the bench? But if he does, how does that round out the second unit? Because presumably, if Alex Sarr goes to the second unit, you're looking at Rashawn Holmes at center, you're looking at Alex Sarr at the 4. Who's at the 3? Is it Corey Kispert or Patrick Baldwin Jr.? And even if you make a Patrick Baldwin Jr. at the 3, Corey Kispert at the 2, Bob Carrington's, presumably at the 1, and then, where do you put Jared Butler? Because, Jared Butler played good basketball last year. So a lot of question marks, man. But like I said, this is why, we're going to help each other with the depth chart tonight. We're going to chop it up. I'm going to have a nice discussion tonight about the depth chart. So we're going to get into comments and start off the Friday night like we always do. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. So I love sports. Y'all know that. I love them so much, I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games. And the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily, every single day. That's right. There's something for everyone, every day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day long? Have to turn on the volume and all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24/7 sports channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news. Streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. All right, y'all, let's get into comments. Like I said, we have 19 people in here. I get it. It's Friday night, and it's about the depth chart. And then, like I said, this is the time of the year where things are going to start to slow down. It's after the draft. It's after free agency. Obviously, there's, moves that could be made, but right now it's going to slow down a little bit till we get to training camp. But y'all know, man, I'm going to try to keep things interesting, man, and definitely keep you guys engaged, man. But I know it's going to slow down, man. So like I said, I appreciate you guys. We got 20 people in there, man. So I definitely appreciate you guys taking time out of your Friday night to rock with me, man. So we're going to get through comments, and then we're going to start off the Friday night like we always do. All right, let's get this thing started, man. Big J starts it off. My guy, what's going on with you tonight, man? Bro, seriously, though, there is zero expectation of these this year. Let this spend the first half of the season in the G to make mistakes and get continued. I like the comment, man. And, we look at Keyshawn George. You very well can see him start off with the G League. And like I said, looking at Alex Sarr at the 4, why not play at Marvin Bagley 3rd? He's an aspiring contract. You showcase him, see if he can be a tradable commodity. Alex Sarr ain't ready to start, man. G League showed that, we know that the two areas of his game that are going to kind of spotlight early is going to be his defense, his rim protection, and his rebounding. But his offense is raw, like fresh tuna, baby. I mean, it is raw, and he's going to need work, man. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at Marvin Bagley 3rd could be the answer at the 4. And you guys let me know who you're looking at the 4, because I don't right now. I don't think that he's ready to start. But definitely appreciate the comment, man. Appreciate you, bro. Miram said control plus please. I want the old timeline back. I'm with you, man. I'm not even getting into the Denny trade or other moves, man. But Jordan Poole, I've always been a big fan. I was very excited with him coming over from Golden State. But the fact of the matter is this: what impressed me most about him was the fact that he took a lot of L's. I mean, and deservedly so. Let's be real. He struggled. And a lot of his struggles were on the court. There were maturity concerns, even though in hindsight, even a lot of reports coming out that said that, he took things to the heart. He really wanted to work his tail off, man. He was a guy that was really, really took it to heart with his struggles, man. So look, relegated to 6th man, did his thing. Started when Tyus went down, did his thing, but it was the mental side that really impressed me. The fact that he took those L's and kept working. So I like JP13, man. I really do. So, and it kind of goes into what Mental Edge says, Jordan Poole, and that's not up to debate. I'm with you on that, man. I think that Jordan Poole needs to start. Michael Brogdon needs to be 6th man, but then there, and it kind of goes in the comment that Big J52 said that, give Bub Carrington time to develop. He's 18, about to turn 19. You have Malcolm Brogdon, you have Jordan Poole, you have Jared Butler. Let these guys do their thing, and then when it's time to make the necessary moves, when Bub's shown that he can take on more responsibility, then you go that route. But right now, there's not a reason to push in these young guys. Bilal, we'll see. Does he start the 2 guard? Because you're looking at the wing. Kyle Kuzma's going to hold down the wing, and Kyle Kuzma's about to eat. He's about to have a good year on the wing, man. So where did they put Bilal? These 5 young guys, man. Bilal, Tristan Vucevic, Alex Sarr, Keyshawn George, and Bub Carrington. There's no rush. Take your time, develop them right, and the responsibility goes to Brian Keefe and company, the developmental staff, developing them. Take the time to put them in the fire, let them develop, and then when you start moving some of these vets, and they've shown that they can take on more responsibility and more playing time, then you move them up. You know what I'm saying? So you guys let me know if you agree or disagree with that, man, because you guys know I love me some dialogue. So let me know. Anti-social extrovert. I always love that name, man. Happy Friday. Same to you, my brother. 2 questions. Would you take Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore or Bilal and Sarr? Man, you're gonna put me on the spot. Let me say this. I was in favor of Cam Whitmore. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna keep it 100. I was fully expecting us to draft Cam Whitmore. I believe he was more pro ready. But that the vision for this front office is not immediate guys. It's for teenagers and 20-year-old guys, man, that hate it or love it, man. I know a lot of people don't like hearing about the timeline, and I get it, man, because you kind of push back the rebuild a little bit. I get it, man. If you look at Denny, if you look at a lot of guys in his roster like Jordan Poole, they fit the original timeline, and these guys who couldn't contribute towards a contending team in the future. But so I'm not, like I said, how do I frame this, man? I love me some Will Dawkins. I think that Will Dawkins is a really good GM. I think he's, definitely let him cook. He's got a vision. He knows ball. He knows ball just from, knowing ball, and he knows the analytical side. Him and Michael Winger and Travis Schlenk, they're going to do a great job, and they've done a great job. So I understand the new timeline. Am I happy 100%? I'm going to say no, because I believe that Jordan Poole, I believe that Denny Avdia, and other players like Corey Kispert are part of the future of this team. So I wasn't very happy about Jordan Poole not being considered a future piece and Denny being moved. But, I understand the new timeline. I understand it. But I'm with you on that, man. But getting back to Cam Whitmore, Cam Whitmore is doing some things, man. I mean, he gave the Wizards the business, man. I mean, he's athletic. He's ready to roll, man. Like I said, he's a local product. So to answer your question, me personally, and as much as I love Bilal, man. I really like Bilal, and not only for him as a player, but as a young man. I think he's a very humble young man. But I preferred Cam Whitmore, and actually, as opposed to Alex Sarr, I preferred Donovan Clingan. You guys already know I preferred Cam Whitmore and Donovan Clingan, and Donovan Clingan shows you how pro ready he is. But the ship has sailed. Bilal and Alex Sarr are here. Put me on the spot, but I appreciate you, man, because look, it's all about being clutch, being under pressure, man. So I was under, I'm like I said, I'm mixing my words, man, because I want to see how to frame this. It's like I like Bilal and Alex Sarr. I understand the new timeline, but I was definitely in favor of Cam Whitmore and Donovan Clingan, to be honest, man. But like I said, the ship has sailed, and we got to show these guys support, man. Mira Ram said, would you go back with a time machine, trade both draft picks for 2 to 3 talented players at the same age around Kispert, Denny, and Poole if you could? Good question, man. Good question. Because if it was me, yeah, if it was me. Like I said, I'm not going to begin to understand Will Dawkins and his vision. He's got a vision where he wants his team to go, and at least he has a vision. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm at, is that at least he has a vision. Tommy Shepard didn't have a vision. He was, wearing shades inside, man. He had no vision. I mean, and then Ernie Grunfeld, just, I don't know, what you call what he did, but so he's got a vision. Me personally, yeah, I would have found guys who were ready to contribute, and I would have shortened the rebuild, in my opinion. But like I said, Will Dawkins has a vision, and he said it from the get-go. Him and Michael Winger said from the get-go that they were going to do this is going to be a rebuild for the long haul. They weren't going to cut any corners. They're going to do it right. They're going to catch these guys young. They're going to develop them from the ground up, and they're doing it. So at least they're holding to their word. Is guess what I'm trying to say, man, is that they're holding to the word. They're doing a long rebuild. I mean, so they ain't lying to us. So they're definitely taking a longer approach. But you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let them cook. Like I said, me personally, I would have did it differently, but then I understand, and I'm willing to give Will Dawkins all the leeway to do his thing, because I think he's proven that he deserves that. He's done well in a small sample size, 2 years, and he hasn't even completed his second regular season. But if you look at the moves for Bradley Beal and KP, yeah, not the best trades, but looking at Bradley Beal's contract, not only is it the worst contract in the NBA, it's the worst contract in the history of the NBA. So the fact that he offloaded that contract, look, it tells me something, man. Anti-social extrovert. Second question, where's Johnny Davis? I don't think Johnny Davis is on the team, man. I think that if you saw him sitting on the bench, they've seen what they need to see. We'll see. I could be wrong. Any kind of information I get from the organization as far as Johnny Davis and where he falls, I'll let you guys know. But I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything at all. And I know a lot of people had questions about Tristan Vucevic, about, there was some rumors about maybe some issues behind the scenes. When I talked to Tristan Vucevic before Summer League, he didn't seem like anything was really wrong. You know what I mean? Like there's any friction with the organization. So, we'll see on that front. So I'm gonna get into the rest of the comments tonight, guys. But before we do, I want to let you guys know that Locked On has launched the first ever national sports show, 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channels app. All right, everybody, let's get back into it. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get all these answer everybody's questions tonight, because like I said, I hate leaving any questions unanswered, man. I really do. Like I said, you guys take the time to come on here and rock with me. I want to answer your questions. So I'll get back into Myron Rams, man. Sarr, Sally might be another European curse. Another foreign player has inherent high risk, especially if he didn't play in the Euro League. Area league is worse than high school leagues in the U.S. You see the potential. And yeah, I was excited that when he fell to us at 2, even though I was big on Klingon, because Klingon just is more ready for the league, man. Alex Sarr is very raw. You see, he's got potential, and that's what I'm saying. Give him some time. Let the guy, we made a lot of changes to the organization. And in saying that, revamp scouting department, Brian Keefe and his coaching staff is all about development. With these additions to the coaching staff and the scouting department, let them cook, man. Let them do their job. They got a long road ahead of them. Obviously, these 5 draft picks under Will Dawkins, they're very raw. Every one of them are very raw, oozing with potential. But right now, the job goes to development staff, right? Now that the eyes, the pressure's on them to develop this young talent. So, we got vets on the roster that are going to hold down, the fort, man, while these guys get ready. And then when it's time to start flipping them and, give more responsibility and playing minutes to the young guys, they're going to do that, man. But they're doing it the right way, man. Like I said, I would have did it differently, but I think we're all different. We all have different visions and, different ways to build a team. And I think that, Will Dawkins, his vision is doing it, the right way, the long way, not cutting corners. So, it is what it is on that front. I'm with you, European players. Now, let me say this, man. European players are on the way here. You see an influx, a lot of French players, but European players are on the way here, not just European players. You see a lot of friction in Australia, definitely, in Asia. The list goes on. A lot of these players, but looking at the European players as opposed to American players, these guys are coming in and ready to play. If you look at the nationality, what continent did the last 5 NBA MVPs come from? These guys know how to play. They know how to play the right way. They know the fundamentals. AAU right now is just not teaching our young guys how to play anymore. They're teaching these guys how to do logo threes and the dunk and do all the flashy stuff. But AAU is not teaching the youth now in the United States how to do a pivot foot. The fact of the matter, if you're looking at American players now who don't know how many steps to take in the paint, tells you something. The fundamentals have went out the window, man. And I think that if we truly, as far as American basketball scene, want to reclaim the prize as the top ball players in the world, man, as opposed to European players, we've got to bring the fundamentals back. And that starts with high school. That starts with AAU. That starts with rec ball. We got to teach these guys, these young guys, how to play the game right, and not just the entertaining value. And I get it. The NBA is a business. It's entertainment, right? It's a soap opera. If you look at all the news coming out, and it's just it's entertainment. You know what I mean? But for the sake of just the quality of basketball, we've lost our identity in the U.S., man. We're not about the fundamentals anymore, and the European players are. Look, for you guys who are, watching from overseas or listening from overseas, you guys know that the way they conduct themselves over in Europe, man, is rigorous, man. They don't play around. And the fact that these guys are starting out as 14 to 16 years old, they're turning them out early, man. They're not playing around. Because they're coming for that throne. The U.S. was synonymous with being the top of basketball for a long time. But, the crown, do we still hold that? Because, again, we've lost the fundamentals, man, in my opinion. You guys let me know what you think about that. I mean, that's my humble opinion, but if you look at that, these guys coming from Europe, man, they come over, they're coming ready to play. Now, saying that, a lot of them are raw, especially the French players, very raw. Alex Sarr is raw. Now, Wembanyama is one of those guys that came over relatively polished, and he has his growing pains to a certain degree, but he came over ready to roll. Bilal has some, a lot of room to grow, man. Same thing with Alex Sarr, and then you look at some other guys who are French that got drafted to Jean Salon. He's another guy that I think that lots of potential, but it's going to take time for him. And really, looking at Charlotte Hornets, how quickly is he going to be thrown into the fire, because they have a different situation than we do, man. They're kind of in the gray area that we're used to being in. Mental Edge says, what's good, Brandon? Shout out from Alexandria, Virginia. What's good, man? Alexandria, that's what I'm talking about, man. I got some people out there in Alexandria, man. As a matter of fact, I'll be your way in next week, man. So I got a lot of love for Old Town Alexandria, man. Definitely appreciate you. OBJ, the Don, what's good? How you doing tonight? Poole needs to be the starting point guard. Brogdon at 2. I like that too. I've heard that too. Brogdon at the 2. I have no problem with that. I think the biggest thing is put Jordan Poole in the best position to be successful, and he needs to have the ball in his hands. I definitely agree with that, man. OBJ, the Don, says a rebuilding team really should be starting all the young guys. I agree with that, and I thought that was going to be the case. But when they started signing all these vets, man, if you have any hope of flipping them, now I get it. A couple of them are here, or most of them are here for mentoring. Jonas Valanciunas, to me, very, very team-friendly deal. Here to mentor Alex Sarr, and Lord knows Alex Sarr needs a mentorship. Kyle Kuzma, at what point does he get moved? With his contract, he could be here for the next 3 years, all we know. You know what I mean? So you got to start offloading some of these vets. So you start really, because right now Bub is, I get the theory. In theory, yes. With a young rebuilding team, you want to throw a lot of your young guys out there. John Wall came in and started right away. So and like I said, it depends on a lot of dynamic parts of it, man. It's just a lot of dominoes need to fall. But I think that with a lot of these vets in the roster, you're going to see a lot of them start or play. And you can see guys like Alex Sarr and even Bilal Coulibaly go back, slide back to the second unit, man. So I'm with you on that. This is a good comment. Let's see. Antisocial extrovert. Didn't mean to put you on the spot. Thanks for the transparency. Nah, man. I appreciate you doing that, man. Like I said, really good question. Appreciate that, man. Hey, man, it's all love, man. I definitely appreciate that, man. Let's see. Mira Ram said of the Wizards, we'll get Brandon as GM. We were in Western Conference in 4 years. Oh Lord, the Western Conference. Look, man. I'll be real with you. I've always been like a guy who, I'm weird, man. Everybody's different. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. Like in music, man. When I was growing up, I produced music. I made beats. I produced, because when I hear a song, I don't hear the lyrics. I hear the beat. When I was growing up, when people were listening to Nas or Jay-Z, I was listening to DJ Premier or Pete Rock. I'm weird. So when in realm of sports, yeah, I watch the players and all that. But to me, my favorite time of the year outside of watching the actual basketball is the draft, free agency, the trade deadline, because I like the part of being a general manager. So I, my life job would be a general manager. I love the intricacies of being a general manager. So I'm with you. I appreciate you, man. But shoot, I'm getting almost 40, man. I think that ship has sailed, man. But I definitely appreciate that, man. Let's see. Man, a lot of good comments, man. I'm gonna try to get through all of them, guys. Like I said, I definitely appreciate you guys rocking with me. Link, let's see. Link said I'd want Marvin Bagley the third to start if Sarr doesn't. Yeah, I think that maybe you consider that, because Alex Sarr right now, is he ready to start at the 4? I don't think he is, man. I think he needs some time in the second unit to really, acclimate, man, in my opinion. Let's see. Locked on Law, what's up? How you doing? You don't draft anyone at 2 overall to keep their butt on the bench plan. That's a good point too. I mean, like I said, I love the dialogue. Appreciate y'all, man. Definitely appreciate it all night. I love the dialogue, because that's another good point too. It's kind of the flip, Link says Marvin Bags, Locked on Law says you play him. I agree, both sides. And it really goes off just the vision, man, of what Will Dawkins and Brian Keefe wants to do with the roster, man, because there's a lot of options. It's a good place to be in. Don't look at it as really a bad place, because we have options, but a lot of questions going into training camp, man. Link also says keep Kuz at the 3. Kuz, man, is going to eat on the wing. I'm saying right now, Kuz is going to eat on the wing. They're going to give him the autonomy to be the number 1 option. He's about to light it up on the wing, man. And like I said, Jordan Poole, he's going to come into the season with a chip on his shoulder, man. From everything that went on last season, Man, I'm trying to tell you, Jordan Poole's going to come through this season with a chip on the shoulder. So the number one and number two scoring options are definitely Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma. Man, let's see. Let's get through this, guys. Link also says, I totally agree. I say start Sarr despite Summer League, but should they not do it, it would be Bagley. Yeah, I agree. I think that, like Lachlan Law says, man, you draft the guy number 2 overall. You're looking at him as being a guy who's going to start. But then, it kind of, I'm not saying you're wrong, Lachlan Law, but what I'm saying is, like, when you look at the draft, we knew that this wasn't a draft where you were going to find a day one starter. This is a highly developmental draft. So that's another thing that, could kind of push them to put Alex Sarr on the second unit, because in this draft, there's very few guys in this draft outside of, Zach Edey and Donovan Clingan, to me, are startable guys, but they still have parts of their game they need to evolve. It's from an NBA body standpoint, they have the NBA body to start right away, but from a skill point, like a skill set, they both still need work. So there's not many guys in this draft at all who can start right away. So that's another thing to kind of look at, man. Dennis Chandler said Sarr will be okay. I believe in the developmental skills of Keefe. I'm with you, man. Brian Keefe knows what he's doing. The resume speaks for itself. Let the man cook. And in long term, Alex Sarr is going to be fine. Him and Bilal are going to be the foundation of what the Wizards are trying to do. They're going to be all right, man. Give them time, let them develop. They have a lot of time and leeway to do so. They're going to be just fine, man. They're going to be just fine. Lachlan Law says play him and make him listen to Olivia Newton-John until he gets it. Man, let's get physical. Come on and get physical. Yeah, man, I love it. I love it. Link says that someone who played AAU is basically a bunch of really skilled players playing ref the pickup game is horrible for development. Yeah, and that's what it is, man. I played AAU too, man. And you kind of saw it when I was coming through AAU. And I played AAU year 2000 to year 2004, man. And you just saw that they, the fundamentals were leaving, man. It got more into the they were trying to give kids the keys to how to entertain and then get to the league. But here's the thing, man, we're losing the fundamentals. So I'm glad you commented, man, because I'm with you on that. I started to see that too. We need to get back to that because let me say this. It's kind of a double-edged sword. On one hand, I would love to see American basketball players become Kings basketball again because I'm an American, right? But on the flip side, I love how the NBA has players from Europe, Africa, Asia, South America, the Middle East, the list goes on, Canada. I mean, I love the diversity of basketball. I love the fact that you're starting to get guys coming from Europe that are playing MVP basketball. How many African players we've had. The fact that, Deni Avdija and other players from the Middle East, because Deni Avdija, as far as Israel, could be one of many as far as the Middle East pipeline. And you've seen a lot of good players come out of the Middle East because for a long time, Turkey was, and Turkey's not so much a Middle East. It's not a Middle East country at all. It's actually a European country. They kind of, I guess, they look at themselves as a European country because they're part of NATO. But for a long time, they were turning out a lot of guys. Turkoglu, the list goes on with them. So, and same thing with the Balkans, Stojakovic, the list goes on. They've always turned out a lot of players. So, I love the diversity of the NBA. It's just I want to see American players get back to being high level players. And I'm not saying they're not high level. Obviously, LeBron James, most of the faces of the league, a lot of them are American players. But as far as the skill set, we need to get back to the fundamentals, man, of learning how to play the integral game of basketball. You know what I'm saying? So I love the comment. Lachlan Law said, yeah, Barry Farm is better for development. Yeah, man. Look, man, if you give Alex Sarr a book bag with 2 Gatorades and some granola bars, man, and drop them off in Berry Farms, I guarantee him and Bilal are going to learn how to play find that dog. And Bilal, the dog's not even an issue for Bilal, man. It's just the offense. Bilal got a dog in him. It's Alex Sarr. You need the aggression. I'm with you on that, man. Drop them off with some Gatorades, man, and definitely some running shoes, man, depending on how the game goes. But I definitely agree with that. Let's see. Mary Ron says 100% about fundamentals, but the game is different. Paint is packed. The MVPs from Europe all were EuroLeague. The rest are trash. Looks good mechanics, but Australia means no European leader won them. I agree to a certain point. I get it. Australia, to me, you haven't seen a lot of guys come out of Australia that had high impact in the NBA, man. A lot of guys needed a lot of development. I agree with that, man. And the game is different. I get that. When I was coming up, when you played the center position, you stayed in the paint. You Patrick Ewing, the type of center. You know what I mean? Brendan Hayward type of center. You weren't, any kind of threat from three. Now your fives are athletic, man. Wembanyama's athletic. Alex Sarr is athletic. Your centers now, Jokic, the list goes on, are athletic. Miles Turner. Now the center position guys are hitting threes with ease. Guys are able to put the ball on the floor and bring the ball up. You didn't see that coming up. If you saw Patrick Ewing bring the ball up, man, you would have to check your cup because you couldn't believe what you're seeing. So I agree with that too, man. Like I said, a lot of good comments, man. Oh man, I'm trying to get through this, guys, because like I said, I don't want to miss out on anybody's comments, man. Let's see, XD_ Zaylofin says that boy Alex Sarr softer than a Tempur-Pedic mattress. He's gonna get there, man. He's gonna get there. We're gonna try to work with him, man. Let's get the, Barry Farms is definitely an answer, man. But he's gonna be all right, man. I think Jonas Valanciunas is gonna do a lot for his development, man, because Jonas got a little chip on the shoulder, man. I've always liked the way that Jonas Valanciunas played. He's a notorious Wizards killer, man. So let's see. Oh man, a lot of good comments, man. I hate to miss out on anybody, man. Guys, I'm gonna try to knock out 4 more. We're at the 36-minute mark, so I'm gonna try to knock out 3 or 4. But again, because you guys came out and again rocking with me, man, I'm gonna do another mailbag this week coming up. So I'm trying to knock them out all out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a mailbag just live, man. So I'm gonna try to just go through live, man. So sometime next week, outside of Friday, we're gonna do a live mailbag, man. By Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm just gonna read off the comments, man, and just gonna roll through because, like I said, I hate to miss anybody's comments, man. So I'm gonna rock with a few more. Let's see. Playing Opposite says, "Hey, Brandon, who should be in the first, second, and third unit at the guard position between Jules, Jared Butler, Poole, Bub, and Malcolm Brogdon?" I echo what a lot of people have been saying. You start Poole at the 1, you play Brogdon at the 2, and Jared Butler definitely gets the minutes right now, but Bub Carrington is definitely at the trade deadline is when you want to see Bub Carrington's minutes go up because look, yeah, summer league, if you struggle or if you play well, it isn't always an indicator where you're at. But I think you definitely have to reward him to a certain degree because he played well. And you saw, the dog factor. You saw him, really active. I think he's deserved some minutes, man, as opposed to, but he very well could start with the go-go. We'll see, because right now we don't know what Will Dawkins' vision is for these young guys. So I think as we get closer to training camp, and once we get into preseason, you're going to get more of an indicator of where this roster is going to go, man. Because you very well could see a lot more, not a lot more, but a couple moves made. Because right now, Tyus Jones, we still have not secured a signing trade. So, it's looking more and more that he walked for free. So it shines a whole new light on the KP trade. But like I said, Will Dawkins, he's not going to strike. He's not going to hit 1,000. He's going to miss. And, his batting average right now is about 450 because Brother Man is doing his thing. With the KP trade, yeah, you didn't get anything for Tyus Jones, but you're not going to win them all, man. I think overall he's done a good job, but, we'll see. I think that's what we're rolling with, man. Jules Bernard, I see him as a guy who's going to float back between the Capital City Go-Go and the Washington Wizards, man. But Jules Bernard, man, he looked well too. So they have a good problem. They have a lot of players, and they got to find who, obviously you have to give minutes to the young guys. Bub Carrington has to get minutes. You know what I mean? Bilal, all of them, they need minutes. So, you don't want to see the vets take most of the minutes away from these young guys. But, when you look at the veteran guys, you have to give them minutes because you're showcasing a lot of these guys to get their value up to move them eventually. So, let's see. Here we go. You're right. What's up, man? The issue is the Euros practice 6 times and Americans play 6 games. Practice, develop skills. That is I love the comment. And I totally forgot about that. They practice, man. And then you hit the nail on the head. The fact of the matter is, practice is where you develop a lot of those good habits, man. You know what I mean? And that's why I said that I'm a flip real quick on sports, the NFL. Right now they're talking about taking away preseason. Well, the thing is, the starters only play so much in preseason anyways in the NFL. The most important aspect of the NFL in getting prepared for the season week in and week out is practice. So I agree with that. The fact that they spend so much time practicing in Europe shows you the developmental skills of these guys, man. We need to get back to that because, look, we have ballers in the U.S., man. And like I said, the NBA is a lot more diverse now. Basketball is up there with soccer or football. My bad, anybody. But as far as international reach. And I think it should be, because that's what makes the NBA. And I love me some baseball, and I love the NFL, but that's what makes the NBA that much better to a certain degree, because you see players from all over the place who are effective, man. You got Siakam, who I can't remember where Siakam's from. I don't know if it's in Congo or Cameroon. I gotta go back, man. I usually know where a lot of these guys are from, man. Because my dad's from Nigeria, so I always try to follow a lot of the Nigerian players. But like I said, the fact that we have so many guys from different parts of the world, man. But look, the Euros, man, they ain't playing. They're serious about the basketball, man. And I want to see us get back to that in the U.S., man. I want us to take it more serious, man, as far as fundamentals, man. Teach these young kids, because I coach basketball. I haven't coached for a couple of years, man, but I did rec ball. And the biggest thing with young men is that you got to teach them the fundamentals. You have to give them a foundation to build upon as far as the skill set, man. So I definitely agree with that. Great point, man. So I'm going to do one more, guys. Like I said, I hate to miss anybody. Appreciate you, Cameroon. There we go, Cameroon. Okay, yeah. Because MB's from Cameroon too, man. So like I said, don't forget Giannis Antetokounmpo is Nigerian by blood, man. He did come from Greece, man, but there's a lot of good players in Nigeria. So like I said, Africa has got a pipeline, a lot of good players. Same thing with Europe, the Middle East. I want to see a lot more Middle Eastern players come out. Obviously Latin America, not so much, man. I remember I don't know if you guys remember, Argentina had a couple. It was Manu Ginobili, and who else was it that came out of Argentina? And we had a few. Anderson Varejao, man, was a Brazilian. So you got a few to come out of South America. Definitely see them more. Central America. Like I said, I love the diversity of the NBA, man. So all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and call it there, man, because this bottle of bourbon has been giving me the slide eye, man. So definitely appreciate you guys, man. We got 27 in the chat. Look. All 27 of you guys, man, appreciate you taking time out of your Friday night, man, to rock with your boy, man. Like I said, I will be doing a live recap of the 5th and final Summer League game on Saturday, so definitely tune in for that tomorrow, because they will be playing the Milwaukee Bucks. So definitely tune in, and let's see how Alex Sarr does in the final game, man. But obviously, he needs work. Give these guys some time, guys. But we're gonna get there. They're gonna take the time with this rebuild, y'all. But we're gonna get there. So again, appreciate you guys. So I will see you guys Sunday night. Hail to the Wizards, and peace. See you guys next time. Oh, and you guys have a good weekend, safe weekend, drink responsibly, enjoy the weather. Definitely have a blessed weekend. All right, everybody. Peace.